Hello and welcome. My name is Michelle and I am your emotional resilience coach, and it is fantastic to have you join me here today. If you are just sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're in the right place. If you are just done with repeating the same old patterns in your life and having the same dramas, new faces show up in your life, you are in the right place. A couple of years ago, I was in a really bad state. I really was. And I realized that there was a lot of dysfunction going on in my life. There was a lot of drama going on in my life. There was a lot of things happening that was pretty traumatic for me. It had pulled up wounds from my childhood. I was reliving a lot of chaos and a lot of trauma, and I was confused at how. What is my part? What can I do to change things? What steps and what actions do I need to take? Which took me on this amazing journey where I found out that I'm actually a codependent. I am a fawn. Hello, fellow fawns. And is a lot about who I am and how I show up in the world and how I react and how I respond that brought so much of this chaos and trauma into my own life. And today I want to chat about one of those things, and that is about radical acceptance. I want to talk to you about just accepting yourself and people for who they are. And I know this sounds really difficult, and this is something we practice and we practice and we learn all the time to do just that little bit more. It's not something that you just hear of and you think, okay, yeah, I can do that, because it's really, really hard. It goes against who we are as people, and that is to drop our expectations of other people. And so today I'm going to talk about that narcissist codependent relationship, what happens, why things go wrong, and what we can do as fawns to take our power back. What does that look like? So often what happens, and I have seen this and have witnessed this in my own life, and I've seen and witnessed this in other people's lives, people who have coached, clients, family, friends. So often what happens is that when you are in a relationship with a narcissist, you have this connection. So one of the things that a narcissist does is a narcissist will have you believe that you are together, you are the same, you are connected somehow in a way in which you cannot be connected to another human being. They get you on a level like nobody else has ever gotten you before. You could feel like your soulmate, like your twinsies. You'll feel like you just are meant to be together, right? And why this happens is because a narcissist, remember, is also a codependent. All narcissists are codependents. Not all codependents are narcissists. That's very important to realize. So what happens is that a narcissist will come along, or let's just call it a codependent. They will come along and they will want that connection. There is no connection with ourselves yet when we are in the depths of our codependency, right? We don't know how to do that yet. We don't know how to love ourselves. And we feel this void. And so we want to have connections with people. And I don't believe that it comes from a bad place. I don't believe that it's mean. I don't believe that it's got like any sinister thing behind it. I think it's people just trying to fill voids that we feel within ourselves. And what happens is that you meet somebody and you like this person and you think, oh, I can get to, enjoy this person and their company, and they're fun, and these are the things that I like about them. And so you mimic them, or you love them too. That is so typical of a codependent, right? We often don't know, because we haven't spent time with ourselves, what it is that we like, what it is that we love, what it is that makes us feel passionate and fired up. We just go with the flow and we're like, yeah, whatever. You love to have pizza every night. I love to have pizza every night, right? Me too. We're so desperate for that connection with another human being that instead of connecting, we are attaching, and we are attaching on common ground. We are desperate to find common ground. If you love that, I love that. If I love that, they love that. And it becomes this enmeshment of a relationship where you don't know where the one starts and the other begins, or ends and begins. It's this confusing mess, right? But then what happens is that problems will come, as they always do. And something will happen in the relationship. It will throw the relationship. It'll be a bit wonky. It'll be a bit off kilter. And invariably what then happens is that your fawn codependent will go into people-pleasing mode. And they will go into forgetting of self. I must do whatever I can to save this relationship. And then the narcissist, who's also the codependent, remember, will go into aggression. So what we do is we go back, we drop the game, we drop the masks, we drop trying to find this way to enmesh our lives together, and we come out. The survival part, should I say, of ourselves comes out to the forefront. And so we go into fight, flight, fawn, flop, which is dissociation. We trigger into one of these areas, and what happens is that when we trigger into it, that becomes the forefront. That is who and how we show up. So I might become the people pleaser and the martyr, the let me do something, love me, say that you love me, I'll do whatever I need to do to keep the peace and to calm the waters. And the codependent narcissist will come through as aggressive, as the bully, as mean-spirited, as maybe passive-aggressive, unkind, in your face. Their response to the hurt that you're experiencing in the relationship will be very different. And it can be so confusing because you'll think to yourself, but I thought we're the same. I thought that we are so alike. I thought that we're soulmates. I thought that we're twinsies. I thought that we just got each other. And why is it that you're showing up one way and I'm showing up the other way? And it's exploding in this horrible mess that it does explode into, because the narcissist just gets angrier and angrier and shows up meaner and meaner each time. You are just giving, and you are people pleasing, and you are sacrificing to the point where you lose yourself, you get sick, you don't know what's going on, you're spinning in confusion. Whatever you do doesn't make them happy anymore because they're no longer dealing with what's going on in the moment. They now triggered into past traumas, you're triggered into past traumas, and the whole thing just becomes this enmeshment. So they don't know what to draw from. So they can't show up like you. They can't be like you. They're not going to respond like you. They're not going to react like you because they're not you. They are themselves. And that is going to look a little bit scary for you and for them. And it's going to be confusing for both parties because as codependents, you have tried to fill a void in each other's lives instead of trying to fill the void in your own life. You are confused, and you are confused because you think you're the same. And you think that because, you guys have filled these voids and have been same, when it comes to what matters and when it comes to what counts, you realize how different you are. And I'm not saying that all of it is a lie, and I'm not saying that none of it was true, and I'm not saying none of it was real. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that, you're going to have to decipher, and you're going to have to own and be accountable for what is your part, what were you adding into the mix, what is their part. Detangle yourself from the mess, take that step back and accept yourself for where you are. Me, I got to accept myself that I'm the people pleaser, that my default mode is going to be to try and keep the peace at all costs, including myself. I've got to learn to have strong boundaries and have my own back. That's what it looks like for me. For a narcissist, it's going to be a lot trickier because a narcissist does not see that they are wrong or how they are wrong. They just go into attack all the time. And for me as a codependent or a recovering codependent, what I have to do is take a step back and look at the narcissist and say, I can't change them. I can't expect them to be any better. The resistance that I have to how they're showing up is because subconsciously I'm expecting them to show up more like me, because aren't we the same, or weren't we the same, or didn't we have this idea that we had so many similarities? It becomes this real confusing mess. So what we do is we learn to just accept, radical acceptance, which means I accept me for who I am, how I show up, and I'm responsible for that. I'm responsible if I feel like I'm getting mown over, especially if I know that I'm a fawn. I need to have boundaries. I need to have my own back. These are things that I have to do to protect myself. What the narcissist is doing is in reaction to their own trauma. They don't know any way to be other than to fight. Either I can accept them where they are and say, all right, this is the space that they are in, and this is how they know how to survive, or I go no contact, which most people recommend, and I remove myself from the relationship, from the entanglement entirely, and not expect anything different, because that's just who they are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. If this resonates with you, please do hit like, subscribe, the notifications button. And as always, I love to hear from you here and of course over on Instagram. I have started on Facebook. I haven't been really active on Facebook, but if you do find my page, Emotional Resilience Coach on Facebook, do say hi. Have a great day.